Okay, so here's what happens a lot of times when I finish at the gym. I'm hungry, okay, and I want to eat something now. But I want to eat something that matches my diet, right? And if I go to a restaurant, they usually mix things, and I'm not eating a lot of carbs right now. So I want to eat at home. And but I'm hungry, and I don't a lot of times I would get into the habit of drinking some kind of alcohol, right, until I get home and have something cooked. But then that ruins the rest of my day. I'm tired. I can't get anything done. So the other day, I was finished with the gym. And what I did was, it was not the perfect situation, but I bought some peanuts to tide me over until I had time to make some proper food, some healthy food. Peanuts are not bad. They have a little bit of carbohydrates in them, but and they're salty, but it will tide me over, right? It's a small little snack. Okay, so I needed a snack to tide me over. Okay, and let's say so to tide me over. All right, so let's say for example your buddy is he needs money, right? Because for whatever reason, maybe he took a big vacation, or maybe he doesn't have he didn't have time to get his first salary yet. For whatever reason, he needs money, right? And he says, "You don't have a little bit of money you can spare until I can get to the payday." And you say, "Yeah," and you give him $50 or something to tide him over until payday. Say it's not a lot, but it'll tide you over until payday, right? So to tide someone over, or it means it's like a temporary fix, a temporary fix. Okay, so even like if you're really hungry and you, let's say, don't have the perfect thing to eat, you eat a candy bar, tide you over till you can eat something healthier, right? To tide you over. Okay, so uh, so anyway, let's talk about this. Where it came from. I wondered where it came from, so I checked it out. The the origin using the tide to move a ship. Let's make this a little bit. Okay. Every time I zoom in on something, the recording stops. I don't know why. Okay. So using the tide to move a ship to a new location where there was no wind. Okay. So we've got a ship, and there's a couple of ways this thing can move. And one is, you know, wind, right? And the other is using the ocean, like the tide, which is the movement of the waves and the movement of the water, the natural movement. Okay, so we've got these sea lanes, which were used. Okay, these were the major sea lanes, and they tried to catch these streams. I think that's what they meant by tides. These, like if I'm out here, it's going to take a lot to move from one place to another. But if I can catch this, it will take me where I want to go without much help from the wind. Okay, so you use the tide to get from one place to another. So it will. I don't have any wind, so I'm going to use the tide. This will tide me over. Okay. So that's where that's from. Tide. Tide is wave. Okay. Here's some examples. When I was at university, my mother always sent me food parcels to tide me over until my next grant check. Okay. Let me lend you some money to tide you over until payday. Okay, this is the example I used. The bank agreed to a small loan to tide the company over till the end of the year. Stanley sent his granddaughter some money to tide her over until she found a new job. Um, we spent the morning fixing the roof. Hopefully, it will tide us over until we can get a builder in. Now, this is the example I've used. I've made you a sandwich to tide you over until you can get a proper meal. And this is the same kind of thing. This is a good example. Chris picked up a few essentials at the store, the corner shop, to tide him over until he did a big shop, so he could get to a big shop. So I do that all the time. Is I will go to a local store to get some things, um, even though the price is kind of more expensive a little bit, and the like, like I went to the local store and bought a few little items, some chicken, but it's not the best store for that. There's another store that's better for buying meat that's a little bit further down, but I bought some little bit of chicken to tide me over. Okay, so anyway, so I will piece this together. I've got to edit it now because whenever I use the mouse to zoom in on something on the screen, it stops recording. I don't know why. So, but anyway, so if you like these videos, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you can, leave a donation. There's a link in the description to buy me a coffee. That's how you donate, is buy me a coffee. Okay, so I will talk to you on the next idiom.